Hi, Gary Force. You look great.
Thanks very much.
Welcome to Voices Marksfield.
Pleasure to be here.
And you have been teaching students who want to have a career in the media, correct?
Yeah, media and the gaming industry, yeah.
Yes. I also heard about good news. Why did you found the company GeForce Digital?
Well, it was a mixture of reasons, really, because I have always enjoyed having my own company. I used to have my own business before going into teaching, and I thought I need to do it again because I need to continually be creative. But then also the other driving reason was to actually give young people actual work experience, because it's very hard to get in the creative industry because most people don't take on younger students and whatnot. So I thought, well, they're the best people because they're the ones with the new ideas and the expectations of the digital world, so who else should do it? So it's a win-win. For me, they give me fresh ideas and the energy, and for them, they get actual work experience working for a company. So it's win-win.
You are in a win-win situation, in a way you can kill two birds with one stone. Maybe you can kill many birds with one stone. What kind of products do you currently have in development?
Well, at the moment, we're working on a few apps, and there's a larger couple of games that are ticking over in the background. But say, for instance, one of the apps that we've got, I've had several students involved. I've had graphic design students designing the layouts of the app and the overall look and feel of it. I've had gaming students doing character and creature design for it. So basically I've got this big collaboration of a load of students, and then me and the guys put it all together, and then we'll have it out on the Google and the Apple app stores, and so that'll be our first little foray out there, and we're hoping they'll be out in the next few months.
Right, sounds great. But I'm a little bit concerned with the words games. There are many kinds of games. Some young students may be addicted to games, so some parents are worried about the fact that their children spend too much time on games. Maybe you must have a positive explanation about that.
I do think, all digital communication, television, I think, can be very addictive.
Exactly.
And it's good to step away from the screen, for most of the time. But they can also be quite creative tools. So, so for instance, this project that we're looking at the moment is an app which is called Creature Creator, right? Wow. And it's basically to provide a tool as an inspirational jumping-off point, because as an artist, you often find if you want to do a concept art piece, it's very difficult to work out where to start. So we're developing this app to help you come up with an idea. So yes, games and things can steal time, and they can be an addictive thing, but they can also help you as a jumping-off point, and
Yeah, it sounds of it. I can think of life using metaphors. Games. Do you think life is full of games?
I think it is, because in the best computer games, if I think back to my childhood growing up playing games, a famous game on the Atari and the Amiga called Shadow of the Beast, if you want to get through the level, you don't go forward, you have to go backward. You have to get to go forward, but you have to jump over pitfalls and defeat various challenges and things, but it's not a straight road. So the games do reflect life as it is. It's all one challenge, and it gets harder, essentially, which nothing is easy. I think games have actually got easier over the years, but back in the day, definitely a challenge.
Well, actually in East Asia, there are some YouTubers who produce the video using games. They're really, really popular. They make a lot of money.
Yeah.
What's the case in this country, UK?
I think with that type of gameplay videos, that you see on YouTube as gaming, I don't think it's taken off as big here as it has, say, in Asia. But the market is definitely there because it's a mixture of two things. People want to see how to complete their favourite game. So, for instance, things like League of Legends and stuff like that, or esports, so they want to see they're played, and they want to see them played well. But also, games can be more, I would quite happily watch someone play games rather than watch them play football. There's more challenges, there's more going on. So I think visually, it's more impressive. And that's why it hooks such a good audience, And I think that, there have been talks about having it, an esports Olympics, these ideas have been floated, so, we will see what the future holds in that respect.
Could you tell me a little bit about your targeted audiences?
Well, in terms of the audience, it would generally be, whoever's right for the particular product that we're developing. So we would target our audience.
Doesn't matter how old are they?
No, it was sort of like, so for instance, this particular creature creator app that we're working on at the moment, that would maybe be for, say, your mid-teens right up to, 40s, 50s, anybody who was interested in artistic background, wanted to draw and develop ideas. Whereas, if you were having a game like, say, for instance, Candy Crush, is very much aimed at mums and females who are going to be at home and work, and it's a game that they can play. Well, after I've made tea for the kids, I can sit down and have a few games of this. So, the games are very deliberately targeted, at certain audiences. And again, it's all about revenue stream and income. It's who's best placed to, and that requires a lot of market research and a lot of pre-production goes into, actually developing every game and app and website that's out there.
Okay, how does it benefit the students and the young people you train and work with?
Well, for me, I think the benefit for them is they're actually getting experience of the workplace. They're actually doing a job and they're learning how to get into the industry. So for them, it's a massive benefit. For me, the benefit is also, they're actually coming up with loads of ideas and, they're being creative, and therefore I get loads of ideas to play with and develop a product that, could benefit us all. So it's really, it's great on that side of things. So.
Some time ago we had Nick Powell, the then director of the National Film and Television School. He kept saying that we don't train students for a job.
Yeah.
We train students. We teach students to find a job for others. But it sounds like you are doing both.
I say to students who turn up to me, I say, I'm not training you to do anything other than think. I need you to be creative. It's like anybody could be taught to draw, or anybody could be taught to use 3D modelling software, but not everybody can be creative. That's what I need. I don't need an army of robots. I need people who can think on demand. Can you come up with ideas? Because that is ultimately what drives the creative business forward.
Yeah, in your area, well, actually everyone enjoys using the word creativity, creative. How do you define creative?
Well, for me, creativity is kind of just taking that next step, going that one step further. So if I said to you, I want you to design me a new monster for this particular game, your default position would be to look at, mythology and design me a Minotaur or a Centaur and everything that's already been done. And it's like, right, just change something. Do one thing different. Why does the character have to have 2 legs? Why not give him 4? So then we change that. It's like, right, well, now why does he need legs at all? Let's make the 4 legs fins. Let's make him a fish creature. And it's just that kind of thought process of just doing the next thing and changing it and seeing where it takes you. Not tying yourself down to anything in particular and allowing yourself to explore and allowing yourself to do things wrong. So 90% of the ideas you will initially come up with will be rubbish, and you need to accept that they'll be rubbish, because you can always move on, and sort of like take the stuff that is good, and it's developing that, and it's seeing the process through, and also working as part of a team, getting everybody in on the idea, because people bounce ideas off each other, and that's of course the way the best teams work.
What is your advice to young people who pursue their careers in games and development?
My biggest piece of advice would be the advice that my grandfather gave me.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You still remember?
I will remember it to the day I die, because it's the best piece of advice I was ever given. If it doesn't make you happy, it's not worth doing. You need to be happy, right? Now, okay, we'll all do jobs that initially maybe we don't enjoy, but keep going, keep working through. You'll get the thing that makes you happy if you work hard and keep at it. That's the best advice, by far. But if you're not happy, you shouldn't do it. You should do what makes you happy, whatever that might be. Right? That's the advice I actually live by now.
But in life, there are many variables to be considered.
Oh yes, there definitely are, and I've gone through many ups and downs in my life all the time. But once I sort of like take that and realise, well, this is fine, because it's just I'm doing this job to earn some money, because the thing that is making me happy is not the job, but it's this. Every day I have fun. Every day I get to be creative. So every day I enjoy it, right? Because it makes me happy. So
you think hard, and then even on the bus, on the train, do you think of games and your development? I'm sort of like I'm 24 hours a day. I find it very hard to switch off. I'm always coming up with ideas, which can be infuriating, because you start one idea and you jot that down, and then something might trigger you off with another idea, and I've got to write that down. I think, no, you've got to go back, finish that one. You started that one, you need to finish. So quite often I will have a few ideas on the go, and it's just what do you focus your energy into? It's like I'll focus on that, we'll get that through, and again, because you've already invested energy in it, you enjoy it. So it's like it's not like a chore, and maybe it makes £1 million, maybe it makes nothing, but the process is the fun, and ideally everybody wants to make £1 million. That would be lovely, but let's have fun while we're making our money, at the end of the day. But some make, even for those who make £1 million, they may not be happy.
No,
then what is the answer?
This is very true. Yes, they might not be happy, and for those people, it is again. Try and find the thing that makes you happy. It's not things. It's not stuff. At the end of the day, I mean, the nice cars, the nice phones, the nice TV. Does it really make you happy? No. If all I had was my nice car and sat at home on my nice house and watched my nice TV, I'd be bored. I have to be doing something. I have to go out and see the world, and we went to my partner and I. We went to Italy recently, and I was photographing everything. But as I was taking all these photographs, I was thinking of artwork I would want to create and how it could inspire me to do other things. Which again, it's what makes me happy. So it's definitely all about those experiences rather than I want to own the TV. I want to own the limo. Go out, get out there, see the world, do what you love.
Fantastic. I think I'm listening to somebody who is in love with their life. That's very good.
Definitely am that, yeah.
Gary, I don't know when you started thinking of this kind of job. My next question is, what kind of advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
Well, the thing about, I know you asked me earlier about, what advice would I give to young people, but the thing, I don't actually like advice because it's easy to give, but it's hard to take, right? So, and I was never very good at taking advice, right? I've been quite rebellious throughout my youth, and growing up. So I think, for me, the piece of advice, if I had to give it to myself, would be just do it. Just because maybe
when you have a sparky ideas, you just go for it.
Just do it. Go for it. Because I started off when I was first at college, or when I was deciding to even go to college. I had two paths. I could have gone down an artistic road or a music road, and I chose the artistic road because I kept music as my hobby. And I then sort of thought, right, well, what will I do with it? What will I do? So I trained as a graphic designer, and then when I went to university and went through that process, and then started, as most people do, I'll try, getting an internship and going through that. And then through pure fate, if you will, circumstance, a company that I was working for went bust, so I ended up unemployed. And I then thought, well, I have trouble finding a job in the current climate, I might as well start a company on my own. And so I did. And it was...
That was a blessing in disguise.
Exactly, it was great, and, I then thought, why didn't you do that years ago? You should have done it years ago, And so that is probably the advice I take. But having the initial confidence to doing that, I mean, I've always been confident, but, maybe I'd have given myself a nudge to do it sooner. Right. And then just another piece of advice would be, don't worry.
Don't worry about what?
Anything, really, because if you let yourself get nagged by worry and doubt, you'll stop yourself from doing things, right? So just take a risk, take a chance, have a go, right?
That's a part of your life.
What's the worst that can happen, right? At the end of the day, because if you don't try, you'll never know, right? And you'll always wonder, what if? And that's the worst thing. What if?
What if?
Yeah. Don't need what if.
But there are many ifs in life.
Indeed, yeah, indeed. There are many ifs. And, I could start a company and it all go terribly wrong, and I could lose my house and, have no money, but I could always try again. And that's the thing. You can always try again, because life is what you make it at the end of the day.
In theory, it's easy to say like that.
Oh, yes.
I'm a little bit older, I think, correct?
Only a few years, I'm sure.
But especially if somebody is the breadwinner, or, the head of the family.
Oh, yeah.
They have to think very seriously.
Yeah.
About each step.
That's very true. And, so if, say, most young people, if they are, thinking, I'm gonna be a freelance graphic designer, I'm gonna be a freelance film editor or something like that. If they think that, most of them might have, a part-time job in a supermarket, which they absolutely hate, and they're maybe working 2:00 in the morning doing their design work and the stuff that they really love, and that's hard. I mean, it's hard bloody work, but work through it, because if you keep going, if you keep trying, it will pay off in the end. Get yourself out there, try it and do it is much better as an experience than I didn't try. That's my feelings anyway.
Okay, are you optimistic about the future to young people?
I would say yes and no. I mean, I'm an optimistic person, as you can gather. And there are so many opportunities for young people. But, the big but, right? Only if you're prepared to work at it. Only if you try, right? If it's not going to be given to you, right? And that's something that I worry about, because a lot of young people think, because we live in a generation of, instant gratification. I can get Game of Thrones now. I can, I don't have to wait a week for the next episode to come on. I can download things. I can have them instantly. People expect success instantly. I can draw, so why am I not a famous artist? And it's well, it takes hard work. It's a long slog. So there are jobs that you and I haven't even imagined yet that young people will have, that are things that exist. Technology is moving us so far forward. Who knows where we'll be in 5 years' time? So the future is bright in that sort of sense, but you've got to work for your future.
Thank you very much for being with us, Voices of Oxford.
My pleasure.
We wish you good luck
Thank you.
It sounds adventurous, but it's obvious that you are doing a fantastic job, especially for young people.
Thank you very much.
Giving them opportunities, and they can spread their wings.
That's
for the future.
That's what we want to achieve.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.